Now on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline, live from Australia at 4:43 in the morning local time down under, is Danny Jones, the new punter and Thunderfoot. Danny, welcome to BYU Sports Nation.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks.
First and foremost, thank you for waking up so early. That is an elite effort, my friend.
Yeah, no worries. It's awesome to be on the show, so thanks for having me.
Now, did you stay up all night, or did you actually wake up?
No, I actually set my alarm at 4 o'clock, and I got up and looked at my phone. I checked Twitter or something, and I woke back up at about 4:30, so I was quite lucky that I woke up. So.
Well, we're glad you woke up, too, because it would be weird if you didn't. We would like you to describe Aussie rules football to us Americans who only know the game by the officials. So can you tell us what Aussie football is and how it relates to what you're going to do for BYU?
It's actually an extremely hard game to sort of interpret. Even if you watch it for the first 3 or 4 times, you're sort of like, what is this? I don't know. It's kind of like a cross between rugby and soccer. Yeah, it's on an oval. The ball is similar to an American football, and it's a lot bigger and bulky. And the main form to pass the ball is through kicking or what we call handballing. So I've grown up kicking what you guys would call the rugby-style punt since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. So that's kind of like second nature to me, and I guess essentially that's sort of what's gotten me to BYU.
So you played professionally Aussie rules football, and then when did you decide, hey, I want to pursue college football in America?
So I was actually at a game in 2015, completely separate from Pro Kick Australia or anything like that. I didn't really know a whole lot about American football, and I saw the punter come on for Iowa against Illinois State, and I thought, well, maybe I could do that. Aussie rules background, there's half a chance I could learn how to punt. So, yeah, and then before you know it, you're in the program and you've got a scholarship. So essentially that's sort of how it's worked out.
How in the world were you watching a game between Iowa and Illinois State in Australia?
I was over there visiting. I was traveling around in in the United States, and yeah, I went to a game. So essentially that's how it all happened there.
And you went to the game in Iowa?
Yeah, it was in Iowa City.
Of all the places to visit, you went to Iowa?
Yeah, well, we had a friend who went to the University of Iowa, so she got us tickets and gave us
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So explain to us how you train to be a punter, because if I understand, there's kind of this organization that coaches can come to and recruit guys. So kind of explain that process.
Yeah, so any players who have an interest in becoming a punter or pursuing American football or anything like that, we sign up to a program called Pro Kick Australia, which is run by a guy called Nathan Chapman, who actually signed a 3-year deal with the Green Bay Packers as a punter. So essentially, we sign up to that, and given the recent success, if you look at Michael Dixon at the University of Texas and Mitchell Wishnowsky, who I'm sure you guys would know at the University of Utah. Given that, a lot of coaches sort of come and recruit from Pro Kick Australia. So, yeah, essentially that's how it all works. And BYU was the school that came sort of after me, and I thought it was a good fit. So that was sort of how that worked out.
Danny Jones with us live from Australia, the new punter for BYU. Why did you feel like BYU was the good fit and the right program for you?
I suppose the professionalism was one thing that stuck out to me. I mean, obviously you go to different colleges and it's a pretty similar story, but BYU is obviously a unique place with a unique culture. So I don't know. I suppose, especially after my visit, I just thought everyone was really nice, and obviously the coaches employ a sort of a holistic perspective towards their players, and that's probably something you don't necessarily get in college football. So yeah, I suppose that was one thing and a couple of things that made it pretty easy to choose.
I believe Ed Lamb was the guy that went to Australia to see you in person. What was your interaction like with Ed when you first met him and he first kind of introduced you to BYU?
Yeah, Ed's a great guy. A lot of time for Ed. I know he just came over and checked out a few of our sessions and introduced himself to the group. And after that, he sort of got me on the visit, and I saw that the other coaches employ a similar perspective, sort of all about developing players as men academically and everything like that. So, yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, but when you made your visit officially to BYU, you paid a visit to our studio at BYU Broadcasting. Now, tell me that wasn't the real selling point for you?
Well, I might add, you guys weren't even there. We came over to BYUtv, and yeah, the two main guys that everybody's heard about back in Australia at BYU, they weren't even there. So shout out to you guys.
The previous punter, Danny, was a Kiwi. So do you feel like you have to top his accomplishments as a native Australian?
Well, I feel like we topped the Kiwis in nearly everything, so I suppose it's kind of the norm.
By the way, Johnny Linehan tweeted into the show about 10 minutes ago, "I'll be listening closely. If you say Australia is better than New Zealand, I'll disown you forever."
And that's to us.
To Spencer and I. So,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, we haven't said anything, Johnny, quite yet.
Danny, when do you make the transition from Australia to Utah permanently and get going?
So I'm hoping in June, but every year the guys at Pro Kick Australia, they go on sort of a trip of America. They go to, like, Nathan Chapman and all the aspiring punters go to various colleges around the country. So last year they went to, like, Alabama. Sorry, I'm having them to blank. They went to probably 10 different colleges last year, and they just sort of train for 3 or 4 weeks and get a feel for the system, and that's sort of something that's highly beneficial to players. So I'm thinking of going on that before I come, but I don't know, man. I just want to hope and leave. So,
how much have you practiced with a helmet on, with a rush, that type of stuff?
I've done very little with a rush because sort of I don't know why we haven't done a whole lot with the rush, but I've got pads, helmet. I had a linebacker's helmet for a fair while, which made it kind of tough to punt, but I'd sort of feel like a juggernaut or an astronaut running around trying to punt with that thing on. But no, I've got a slightly smaller helmet now, so that helps me a lot. But yeah, that's the sort of, I guess, where I'm at with that.
What does your family think about all of this, Danny?
Overall, they're proud. My dad sees kind of the helmet-to-helmet contact that comes with American football and is kind of hesitant towards that for that reason. But overall, he's proud, and I think Mum's also in the same boat. So, yeah, happy parents.
Awesome.
Overall, I think.
Danny, it's great to talk to you, man. We appreciate you waking up so early. Go back to bed.
Yeah, I will be. Don't you worry about that.
All right, man. We'll see you in Provo soon.
All right, no worries, guys. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Danny Jones on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.